Hello everybody and welcome back to Starcraft. I just took a little bit of a break. It's a little bit hot in here. My room is on the corner of the building, so it's a little bit hot, easier. But when we last left off, I praised the Goliaths in their entirety for being awesome and being unfortunately removed from Starcraft 2, and then I proceeded to get them absolutely wrecked in comparison to Marines against the Zerg. In retrospect, that was not the best combination of things. Really? I might need a Goliath over there. Oh, okay, those things don't actually do a lot of damage. Neither of them do a lot of damage to each other, they just needed a little bit of assistance. But I have plenty of these, but let's get... Oh wow, let's actually get someone making a command center up here. Just for fun. But here's what I'm gonna do. Have everybody 1 stack, 2 stack, and then there will be a couple scraps left behind. I might even... You know, I'm gonna take Jimmy with him. Nothing could possibly go wrong with bringing the hero unit with us, clearly. I mean, we killed one of the things, and by the looks of it, they don't have gigantic amount. Doesn't look like they have any notable punch you in the face kind of things. I will continue building Goliath there, however. I don't think I used enough Marines for you to not build the command center. Oh my. You guys get near a bunker or something. Do the blue have another base somewhere? Where would they have gotten those? Clear my throat for a moment. Those guys up there. Have a derp over there. I'm gonna get you on. What's over here? A sizable amount of sunken colonies. By the way, I said I needed to do it, and I forgot about doing it. Hey, you. Oh my god. That's depleted. That's why. Actually, before I do that, I would like you to go over there. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. Tell them all to attack move. And Jimmy. I gave attack move! I gave attack move, and apparently it targeted a building. So they tried to run toward the building. That was a dozen people down the drain.
Your forces are under attack.
Hopefully with Jimmy here, they'll be able to survive. Jesus. This level has been pretty crap, honestly. I get so many forces just coming to reinforce. You know what? This could potentially hurt. Which is why I'll get 3 of these over here as assistioso. And I will not have you guys advance too far until you get the reinforcements. This has really, really gone poorly. Like, immensely poorly. I need more gas, and I want all of you guys to go up here. And I'll get 1 guy as a replacement. Yeah, like I said, I think well, this would have gone fairly well if it wasn't for that. Let's have everybody move forward on something. Oh my god! And sheesh, that was. Where did those Zerglings come from? Were they just waiting for us? I mean, I suppose I am attacking this with a slightly smaller force, but like I said, I think the largest thing about what happened was that the Zerg defenses, unlike Terran, do a lot more damage per strike, So while it takes 2 hits to kill a single Marine, and I'd have 2 to 3 Marines per Goliath, it takes like 3 or 4 hits. Maybe even 5, but still. The sunken colonies largely are not the most dangerous. Yeah, 4 hits to kill a single Goliath when it takes 2 to kill something that can be much more dangerous. I think that combined with stuff like Zerglings just made the Goliaths kind of not do too well. But with any luck, I should be able to clean out the enemy base with little difficulty now. Or, you know, the defenses around the NORAD. Get those, you get that, need the control tower. Because if I scan, there probably isn't a lot left. Yeah, by the looks of it, there isn't a whole lot. I mean, there's a lot of defenses here, but by and large, there's only a few sunken colonies. So let's have the Marines go over here. And I will attempt to pincer maneuver these sunken colonies. But hopefully, with Raynor assisting, it'll do a fair amount of woe. Where did that come from? Honestly. Alright, Jimmy, I really do not want you in the front. No, fine. Get up there. Because there's going to be 2 sunken colonies here. Still want the Marines to take the bulk of the fire, though. Oh, they took the fire of 1. Yeah, is this done? 2 dropships, please. And you continue with the Goliaths, and you can unload. Okay. I will still try to have a predominantly Goliath force with things where the Goliaths actually make sense. Like, I will try to avoid using Goliaths on, say, Zerg. See, the same thing happened. For some reason, there's a wider registering click range for buildings that are outside of your view. Like, if you look back, I clicked about here and wanted to attack move directly onto that spore colony, and that's exactly what happened when I tried to tell my people to attack move into the Zerg base. So that way I could just get them all going and then manage it as it went. As you can see, not that difficult once you get in. There's another colony up here. One more. In fact, you guys just attack that, because there's nothing else in your way. I mean, I think the basis, much like in Starcraft 2, the basis of any good Terran force is Marines, because they're cheap, easy to produce, and are good meat shields. And in Brood War, they're even better meat shields because they can be healed. Which will be really nice when we get to that point. Okay, those are dead. And that is the entire enemy base. All we need to do is fly those over there and then have Jimmy move. Is it not at... No, it's at full speed. Does Jimmy get affected by the Vulture upgrade? Because that was incredibly slow for a Vulture.
You're about the last folks I expected to show up. What's your angle here, Minsk?
Our angle? I'll give you an angle, you slimy Confederate piece of
Jim, enough. I'll handle this. The Confederacy has fallen apart, Duke. Its colonies are in open revolt. The Zerg are rampaging unchecked. What would have happened here today if we hadn't shown up?
Your point?
I'm giving you a choice. You can return to the Confederacy and lose, or you can join us and help save our entire race from being overrun by the Zerg. I don't think it's a difficult decision.
Join forces with you? I'm a general, for God's sake.
A general without an army. I'm offering you a position in my cabinet, not just some backwater post. Don't test my patience, Edmund.
All right, Mengsk. We got a deal.
You've made the right choice, General Duke.
I can't believe you're really gonna trust this snake.
Don't worry, Jim. He's our snake now.
Manx can be really persuasive and manipulative when he wants to be. Do you really want to work for someone like that? I mean, he gets the job done, but what cost? And yeah, we get a Confederate general with us, which I suppose is good, but it's kind of the way we pushed it. The trump card, secret staging area Antigua Prime.
Commander,
Ah,
a position
yes.
has been discovered. As of 2 hours ago, a large Confederate strike force arrived on Antigua Prime and established a base camp within our defensive perimeter. Arcturus Mengsk is calling a meeting.
Greetings. I know you're all concerned about the Confederate strike force. But first, we have a grave matter to discuss. It seems our data disks didn't hold weapon designs after all. Lieutenant Kerrigan will explain.
You all know that the Confederates run a program for psychically gifted humans, training them to be ghosts. Those running the program found that the Zerg are attuned to the psychic emanations of ghosts.
So the Zerg are here for you, darling? This keeps getting better and better.
Shut up. There's been a lot of secret Confederate research surrounding ghosts and the Zerg. What we stole was a small but critical piece of the puzzle. Designs for a transplanar psionic waveform emitter. The emitters broadcast the neural imprint of a ghost, but at a much greater magnitude. These things reach across worlds.
The Confederacy used these psi emitters to lure the Zerg into isolated containment areas. Your colony, Mars-Sara Commander, was one such location.
What are you saying?
I'm saying the Zerg are a secret weapon developed by the Confederacy. I'm saying we're all subjects of a Confederate weapons test. Just as they destroyed Korhal with nuclear weapons to establish dominance a generation ago, they would use the Zerg to put an end to their other rivals. Only this time there'd be no outrage. Who could suspect the aliens were their creation? No, they'd be lauded as heroes for coming in and destroying the Zerg. It's time the Confederacy paid for its crimes. And I know just the way. Lieutenant Kerrigan is going to plant an emitter at the Confederate base camp. Commander, you will provide her with an escort. When the Zerg arrive, they'll break the blockade for us and we'll make our escape. Now, get moving.
Well, that was quite a exposition dump, wasn't it? The only problem and little plot hole is that still the key of the Cerberus group in the Precursor campaign.
I just don't think anyone deserves to have the Zerg unleashed on them.
I know you have personal feelings about this, but you can't let your past cloud your judgment. Carry out your orders, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Your forces
Oh,
are
you could
under
actually
attack.
see that. When the exposition is finished, units spawn outside the bunkers and then go into the bunkers. I never knew that. I thought there was just like, they didn't do anything until they got into bunkers. But yes, the only one major plot hole about Minx's theory is that,
Base is under attack.
by the way, that's the reason I ran from there. I remember this. I remember at least having to run in the early game. We have science vessels! There's so much to talk about now. Yes, there's only one major plot hole in Minx's theory, is that as was shown with the Cerberus group, they were trying to keep the Zerg in check as it was. Like, they couldn't do anything about it as hard as they tried, because the Cerberus group wanted to get rid of it. And the Cerberus group, as far as we know, considering they had access to a lot of Confederate-based stuff, were part of the Confederates. But why would they be part of the Confederates if that was the case? I mean, the whole thing about them... Oh yeah, that takes gas to repair. The whole thing about them trying to use the Zerg as emitters... use the Zerg with the emitters could actually be valid, because they could see the Zerg and try and use it, but it's not necessarily anything made by them, if that makes any sense. It's a lot deeper than that. But we do not have Jimmy this mission, however we do have Carrion. So there's that. Let's get some people in there. Also, I think if I lifted this up, I wouldn't be able to place it down as close again, which would be marginally annoying. Although maybe they can get that close to the refinery, I don't quite remember. But we have so much in this level. We can get siege tanks. My mech game is really gonna go well with the siege tanks. But we got siege tanks. We have the science vessel. Science vessel is incredibly important. And if there's a science vessel, I'm guessing it would only be valid to probably need those. Especially since we're fighting other Terran, they're probably going to send wraiths anyway. And you remember, the one key ability about a wraith is that they can cloak. Now, the science vessels, as you can see here, are detectors, meaning they can see cloaked units, and they also are, although they don't have any attack, are nice supporting people. One of them, defensive matrix. Defensive matrix greatly reduces the damage that any target takes for a while. I think the defensive matrix has a max amount of health, but still. Then there's two abilities that we have to research. The EMP, remove all the energy, and later in the game, shields of targets in a radius. Pretty useful if you want to dehabilitate the enemy support units. And lastly, irradiate. You can hit any unit with it, and it will kill the unit over time and do damage to any other units nearby. And we also have the siege tanks, which point out before. The biggest thing about the science facility existing now is that with the addition of the science facility, we can get up to level 3 upgrades now. That is a much bigger deal than it probably seems. Ooh, we can get more upgrades. Ah, hey. Are you... Did it really fly all the way to the back of the base just to do that? Yeah, you could see it cloaked, and the only reason we could see it is because of the missile turret. Why it flew all the way there, I have no clue, but I'm going to get a loose line of missile turrets around the outer ring of our base for that purpose alone. Also, we have this guy, this SCV, cannot do any work because he is holding the psi emitter. Obviously, since he's holding the psi emitter, he can't hold minerals or hold gas in his hands. So he is kind of stuck with that. I will get that, and I'll get the factory, because Goliaths should be more effective in a mission where the enemy is predominantly Terran, who, although the Marines would be fairly good against the Goliaths, Marines cannot be pumped out as easily as Zerglings can. It might feel like they can, but Zerglings are actually much easier to get out. Because I'm not sure if it's come up, but if you paid very close attention, I'm still gonna get this for our bunkers, and you know, if I get support marines. If you paid close attention to some of the eggs as they pop up, these Zerglings come out in pairs, and they still only cost 50 minerals. They're very easy to mass. Now,
Not enough minerals.
not enough minerals. There is another base over here which I am very tempted to get. In fact, let's actually show off some specialty abilities. Because I am going to use the science vessel to scout ahead. Because I know there's a siege tank up there. Yeah? Now, if I were to cloak Kerrigan, in fact, I'll use the vultures as assistants. The vultures over there. Kerrigan can walk by these marines. These guys can go attack them. And you can lock down the tank as Kerrigan. And the vultures can take care of the marines, and then both of them together can get rid of the tank, and we can move in. Cool. She can uncloak now. Yay, strategy! Woo! I'll just move that bunker forward, or at least the men inside. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll probably get like 4 or 5 siege tanks for particularly tough to crack areas. Maybe half dozen. Yes, the EMP, Irradiate, and the Titan Reactor for extra energy. Basically anything that has energy in this game generally has an upgrade to have it have more. Hi, bye. Hi, bye. Alright. Now, how many do I have over here? Let's take one of them over here and build the bunker. Actually, I'll build the... No, I'll build it down here. Also, if you notice, I'm not actually focusing that much on getting supply depots in the front, because since we are fighting other Terrans, most of their units won't be affected by the clutter that would provide otherwise. By the way, I switched him to repairing the vulture because we didn't have enough minerals to actually build the bunker, but the bunker is rather important. She did get scratched at one point. I don't know where. 7, 8, 9, 10. I just need one each. Hey. Eat it. Won't be like that. Now let's get those guys in that bunker. And have you guys repair each other. Yay! Teamwork. Yeah, as you can see, a well-placed ghost can make all the difference. In fact, I'll put this in the back. And then I'll start some CVs. Then once you're done, you will come over here and cap off the gas. Gas will obviously be fairly important.
Not enough minerals.
I'll get the armor plating then. Gas will be fairly important, he says, as he nearly has 1,000 gas, but absolutely, hey! But absolutely nothing in the form of minerals. That's why it pays to get the marine range upgrade. Alright, you, while you're idle, build a machine shop. You get a man over here to repair. You guys, could you kindly actually mine, please, thanks? I'll build that there as well. Give me a bit of leeway for these. That's going.
Add-on complete.
And then 2 more Goliaths, and we'll be able to at least move out a little bit. Let's actually scan a bit. Well, that would be tough to get through. Probably need a couple tanks for that. However, up here seems mostly untouched, and there's a way around. Unless that tank sieges, that would actually be an okay way to go. Though I think I will get a couple siege tanks. So there's 8 people here. There's 8 people here, and a couple are soon to move over here. However, I do need 2 more for the gas. And you need to continue. One, 2, 3,
Not enough minerals.
golly, tanks are expensive. Forgot how expensive they actually were. Yeah, 4 will be enough. 4 will definitely be enough. I'm going to keep these guys just for a little bit of support in the event that things get a little too dicey on the border. And build that. Because we're going to need that for the siege tanks, that's for sure. I need 300. And there we go. Now, while EMP will most likely be not that useful in this level, I will try to find a time to use Irradiate just to show it off. Please don't get stuck behind the buildings. I really don't want to have to build a dropship just to get your butt out of trouble. Now, a little bit more minerals and we can build that.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, TACOM.
Team 1,
Identify target.
Team 2. Cursor got a little bit too close to the edge of the screen. I had you build one of these. There's actually a couple people up here. I should probably get rid of that.
Not enough energy.
By the way, since there's going to start being cloaked units, it will be very nice to always have a science vessel, because otherwise out in the field things will cloak and continue to hit you. I mean, you can use a scan, but using a scan would be rather difficult. I had 666 minerals there for a moment, but I am going to call it a video here. When we come back, we will start to actually attack the... I forget what squadron this would be, because I know every color for the Confederate is a different squadron. I don't know what orange would be. But that is all for now. Until next time, see you later.